Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. This is NS9. This is Bucco Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. And Jim, happy Monday. Happy Arizona Fall League hat. I haven't seen that
Yeah.
one in a
Like
while.
this hat. I was like, you know what? Let's mix it up a little bit. AFL hat.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, some prospects are having some big weeks. Mitch Jeb, some for it.
Yeah, how about that? Mitch Jeb being promoted to AAA and then all of a sudden just starts raking.
Balling out. He heard about
You know
you,
what?
Jim.
I'll say this with Mitch Jeb. Obviously, I don't think he's shown a lot up to this point. If he can hit the ball hard, then he's a completely different player. So keep your eye on him. If he's hitting the ball hard, maybe there's something there. Who knows?
There it is. Not that this is a Mitch Jeb show, but it could be. I could talk an hour about Mitch Jeb just in jest for Jim. But
I
at
could
any rate,
talk an hour about Mitch Jeb for sure.
yeah. But like I said, at any rate, we're talking today about the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates have taken 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. I know we were both on the post-game show yesterday talking about the game, and the game was bad. But again, big picture, they take 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. I mean, they're winning series. They're winning series against the NL Central. They've been doing what they need to do, right? They've been doing what good teams do, and that's good to see. And they have a big test coming up, 4 games against St. Louis in PNC Park, and then 3 games against Cincinnati in PNC Park. And this is an early test. They've already succeeded in Milwaukee, taking 2 out of 3. Now they have 2 more series to go against, but they're both at home also. So some home cooking this time.
Yeah, it's a big week. I think the thumbnail on this says what biggest week of the season, and up to this point, I think you could probably agree with that. 7 games, no off days, all against in division opponents. Cardinals, obviously, team that you're expecting to kind of drop, as the season goes on. But the Reds are surging, and I think they've got enough to like hang in there. So I don't think either team is going to be the caliber of like the Cubs, but yeah, so far the Reds are winning games.
They are. And like think about, I mean, you're talking the Reds here, and first one up is the Cardinals, and like they haven't been a slouch by any means. Like that's something as well. I think we've kind of written the Cardinals off this year, and they've shown that, like, hey, we're still the Cardinals. We still have a little bit of magic left. We sprinkled some on Jordan Walker, and he's turned into an MVP caliber type player. I mean, again, like there's what's nice about the Cardinals. I'm trying to give some respect to the Cardinals here. Is it's in a lost season that they're probably going to have, right? I think we all can attest that they will decline eventually and fall off in the standings, but like they might have some small wins. They might be finding some players that they thought, they weren't sure if they had or not. So again, it's a 4-game series against the Cardinals. And again, like they're not really a pushover as we're seeing right now. And then, then there are the Reds coming into town, and they've already taken, the Pirates have already taken care of the Reds. And what's nice about that is it was away. It was in Cincinnati. It was also with the Rosati curse present. So, I mean, if they can handle business that way, then I feel like there's nothing they can't handle.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so.
You would think so. And hey, that's where the cone took off.
Yeah, Cincinnati is the place where the cone was, I guess you could say it was invented. The cone that they're trotting around is a Cincinnati traffic cone. It is from Cincinnati. So
I know that's not how you meant it. It's just funny. Yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates invented the traffic cone.
the Pirates
that's your trivial list.
The Pirates invented the cone, and they did so in Cincinnati. Yeah,
absolutely. But no, for real. I mean, the Pirates are playing good baseball. Again, like most teams have flaws, and the Pirates certainly aren't exempt from that. They certainly have flaws as well. But even with those flaws, they're playing good baseball. There's not too much more you can ask for. And again, it's about winning series, and they're doing that. They're doing that, whether it's home or also away, and in division, they're taking care of those as well. Again, like at this point in time, all you have are the games that are in front of you. and they have taken care of business, and they have played and done what good teams do. They're resilient. They come back. They find ways to win. Sure, there's losses. Every team's going to have losses, but more times than not, they win.
I mean, they're playing at a 93 win pace right now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's good. So, I mean, they're playing good ball. Yeah, they're playing good ball. And it's not like it's fluky either. Like, you look at all the underlying stuff, and like the run differential looks good. Like that's where you can kind of see where maybe this Reds team is a little off, because the run differential doesn't match their record in any way. And, that's usually something where over the course of the season, the teams who have a higher run differential have a better record. So, you look at the National League just in general, and, there's like two teams right now who are like clearly above the rest in that regard. And that's the Dodgers and the Braves. And then it's Pirates, Cubs. Like, those are your top four teams in the NL. And if you look at, FanGraphs playoff odds, I know it's early, it's April 27th, but those are the four top teams in the NL according to FanGraphs. I think when I looked yesterday, the Pirates are projected to have the 6th best record in baseball right now. So yeah, they're playing good ball. They're doing it in a way that seems sustainable. So yeah, I have no complaints right now. I mean, I guess we got to find some things to complain about every now and then, but again, big picture wise, not too many complaints about this team. They're playing good ball.
Yeah, I mean, I have complaints, right?
Yeah,
but again, it's not as if it was like previous years where it's like this is the demise of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's like, okay, here's an issue, let's clean it up. I mean, you can always improve. I mean, that's one that you can, no matter who you are. The Dodgers have that mindset. The Dodgers even like, we can improve. That's why their payroll's $2 billion, because every team can improve. So like, yeah, those are the complaints we have, right? When you're talking about the defense, like, let's clean this up, fellas. When you're talking about the middle relief, let's get a little better. When you're pinpointing, Joey Bart and Henry Davis in the catching situation, like there's certain things you can talk about that this team can improve upon to get better. But what's nice about it is these complaints aren't, well, this is why this was the terrible team to begin with, and they had no shot at the playoffs. Now the complaints are, hey guys, like, you can really push for a division here if you clean this up. Why settle for a wild card? It's nice. It's nice to have those type of complaints, because it's like, it's really meaningful. It's not because this is why this is a lost season. It's all right. Let's tighten this up. Let's tighten this up. You guys look like one of the best teams in baseball. That's pushing it, but what I mean, like that's what we're talking about. And that's nice to see. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that stuff, but there's a lot of good things to talk about as well. So maybe let's do this. Before we talk about all that, let's tell you guys about the Fair Coffee and Tea. The Fair is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by the Fair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. Of course, that's thefair.coffee and gym. As always, tell everyone how they save themselves 30%.
Yeah, go to thefair.coffee, load up your cart, put in promo code NS930, and get 30% off your entire order. Apparently, there were people trying the promo code at the location during our tailgate. People were in town. They went to the fair. Promo code doesn't work in person, unfortunately. It's for online orders only. And it's for online shipping orders as well. Because I think some people even tried placing an online order for in-store pickup, and that also did not work. So,
which I have to say, funny as hell. Like, I just imagine people in there just screaming out, and it's 9:30, and the workers just be like, what the hell is happening? So yeah, shout out to all you guys for doing it. Yeah, but that's not how it works. It's not how it operates.
Online orders.
Right. Okie dokie. So what do we want to talk about first? Because again, there's a lot of good things to talk about also.
I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I do want to talk about a couple of players here.
Yeah, let's
give
do
them
it.
some love. And we've done it a little bit like in the post games, but Nick Gonzales and Oneil Cruz. Let's start with Nick Gonzales because Nick Gonzales had a lot of scrutiny coming into this offseason. Does he have a position? Is he going to get traded? Like he has to get better. He has to do this. And ultimately, he's on the team, but he settled on a backup role. There's going to be some depth. Jared Trill is going to start at third base. And, Connor Griffin's coming up here. Like he's going to be a shortstop. Like, Nick Gonzales has kind of been an afterthought. And not that his season numbers are like outstanding, right? Like when you look at Nick Gonzales, it's not like, oh man, he stepped up. You're proving yourself. Like they're still very pedestrian. They're still like under league average because he's really not hitting for power. He has 4 extra base hits, all doubles on the entire season. We know he doesn't get on base, but he's hitting for average. And I think the thing about him too, and this is something we talk about often enough, and he's really showing it this year, is he has been Mr. Clutch. Like it just seems as if like, he doesn't do much with the bat, but when it's needed, he comes through and it's going to be a single, but like he's batting, 417 on the year with runners in scoring position. He's got a 178 weighted runs created plus with runners in scoring position. That's 28 plate appearances so far, which is kind of up there for the team. Also, like he's getting it done in big ways. As we talk about teams that find ways to win, like that's kind of been his knack for his career, oddly enough. And it seems as if it's certainly continuing.
Yeah, well, I think Nick Gonzales is a polarizing character because when he's getting base hits, it tends to be like they tend to be meaningful, I guess you could say. I mean, over the course of his career, his runners in scoring position numbers aren't outstanding by any means. Like for his career, he's hitting 276, 705 OPS, 89 weighted runs created plus. That's with men in scoring position. I think the reason why people look at Nick Gonzales and they view him as clutch is just the approach that he takes. He is the one guy on this team where like just no matter what, he's going to be aggressive, and he's kind of always been that way because we've seen the Jack Swinskys roll through here. We've seen, times where Oneil Cruz and Brian Reynolds where they're much more patient hitters, right? I guess you could like really across the board. Every Pirates position player is a more patient hitter than Nick Gonzales. Nick Gonzales doesn't walk very much. He doesn't take a lot of pitches. If there's a ball thrown in or around the zone, Nick Gonzales is usually swinging at it. That approach is problematic in some ways, but in some ways it also works. There's going to be times when, being aggressive is a good thing. There's going to be times when being aggressive is a bad thing. And I think you kind of see that just throughout his career. Like overall, his numbers are they're still pretty pedestrian. We're talking about he's on a 7-game hitting streak. He's on a tear right now. He's still he's still a below average league hitter, but he's hitting 303. So so it's one of those things where he's kind of just an old school hitter. He's going to put the bat on the ball. He's not necessarily going to hit it hard. He's just going to hit it somewhere. And you look at the walk rate, you look at the strikeout rate, you look at the contact rate, like everything's the same as it's always been. It's just his hits are dropping right now, right? His batting average of balls in play is 380, whereas for his career, it's 315. And so
by the way, when he's with runners in scoring position, the BABIP is 476.
Yeah, so like he's kind of getting lucky right now because that's
for sure
that is not necessarily a sustainable thing. But hey, the thing about baseball is if you put the ball in play, like you're sometimes going to hit it to where they're not. And when there's runners on base and you're doing it, you're putting pressure on the defense. Like sometimes it works. And right now he's just in one of those hot streaks where the luck's on his side. His balls are dropping. They're dropping for hits. They're dropping at the right times. And the stars are just all aligning perfectly for Nicky G. Um, I wouldn't expect this all the time because again, that BABIP isn't necessarily sustainable, especially with somebody with his exit velocities. I don't think Nick Gonzales is going to bat 300 this year. If he does, that's a huge development for the Pirates. I just don't think it's going to happen. But like 280 could definitely be a thing that happens. And like while his contact doesn't lead to extra base hits, there's still some value in coming through with a base hit when you need it from time to time. So I still don't know if I'm comfortable just like anointing Nick Gonzalez a starting whatever third baseman, if you want to call it that. There's some comments in here like, what do you do when Triolo comes back up? It's like people are gonna hate this. Like they're gonna hate it. But like I think Jared Triolo's probably still your starting third baseman when he's healthy. Now, you ride the hot bat. Like I think that's like you've got to play this sport the way that it's going. So like if Nick Gonzalez is on a hot streak, then by no means don't just end the hot streak. But I think you're going to end up seeing that, Jared Triolo's going to be getting the majority of the reps at third base when he comes back.
I agree. We're going to lead there. And, again, like I do want to give Nick Gonzalez his props because he is having a strong start to his season. But again, to put things in perspective, the strong start is a 97 weighted runs created plus. Like that is what we're talking about here. Like it still is about an average bat, and most of that is because he like just hits for absolutely no power right now. 300 batting average is nice. There is a lot of fuel to that. But again, like I do want to say here, and this is I agree with you. I agree with you on that when Triolo comes back, like he's basically you're starting. He was the third baseman to come in this season. I don't think there's anything that's changing at this point in time to overturn that, to make Nick Gonzalez like, okay, no, we have to get Nick Gonzalez here. Again, still about league average. The defense has been fine, though. Like, I'll say that. The defense has been fine. It's not that it's great. Triolo can probably provide great defense. But, yeah. It's not that as if I trust, like, Nick Gonzalez, what he's doing right now. He has come up big, and that's great. But, again, like, what I'll say to this is I feel like his bat plays better with this lineup as well. To your point, putting the ball in play, and I've talked about this time and time again, right? Like I understand and respect the new age baseball, and I think people undervalue some of this stuff, when it comes to exit velocity, whatever. But like still, like putting a ball in play still has better value than striking out. Always. You know what I mean? Because like Oneil Cruz proved that one day. When the guy was on Spencer Horwitz, I think was on third, and he had a ground to go first base, and the guy scored, and he ended up being like no out was made then because of that. Like Nick Gonzalez puts the ball in play. This year's team seems to have guys on base. There seems to be traffic a lot of times, more often than not. And like you mentioned, like you put the pressure on the defense or whatever, just putting the ball in play can tend to lead to good things. So when it was last year and there was no one on, and, he grounds out to the shortstop or, he gets through whatever and ends up being a single and come in. Like this year, he could make some things happen, advance some runners and stuff. So there's some productivity to that. So again, like I do like his bat because it has a different mix, like Jake Mangum is Nick Gonzalez to the extreme. And that's why I kind of like Jake Mangum's bat in this as a fourth outfielder. And that's kind of where I'm getting with like Nick Gonzalez, like Nick Gonzalez, when Jared Triolo comes back, I think is a reserve player. He's like a utility guy. To your credit, like this is the guy that you do want on your bench to come in when it's time to pinch hit. Because like you said, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to swing, and oftentimes good will come out of it. So I guess that's the end of my discussion there. But again, like like I do think, Jared Triolo is coming back. He's in rehab right now on assignment, and I think that's what you're going to Yeah,
He's in rehab right now.
He's after they invented the traffic cone, he hit the bottle too hard. He can't take the success. But no, he's on a rehab assignment. And right, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen too. And I think it's the right decision.
Now, I think, and I think Ben Charrington alluded to this in his show yesterday. Like, you don't have to rush. Like, the Pirates are in a position right now where I don't think you need to rush Triolo back. Like, he's been out for 2 weeks, so give him all the time he needs to see live pitching, get back in the swing of things. I said, there's no. I'm not clamoring for Jared Triolo to rush through his rehab assignment and get back on this team, but he certainly helps the team out defensively. I know his bat isn't much. It's not. And as I said, people are going to be upset for me saying that Triolo is probably the starting third baseman when he gets back, but that's the reality of the situation. If you've been watching this team for the last 3 years, you know that they like Jared Triolo. Like, even when Jared Triolo is struggling, they tell you straight up, hey, we like what we're seeing out of Jared Triolo. He's going to play. He's going to figure it out. They've made moves to make spots for Jared Triolo. Like, they've done these things. So yeah, I have a feeling that when Triolo is healthy, he's going to be here. He's going to be playing. But to your point, Nick Gonzales does deserve to play. And like I said, ride the hot bat. If Nick Gonzales is hot and his hits are falling in, then just ride it as long as that happens. Baseball is a weird sport. Things tend to come in streaks. He's a streaky guy. Yeah, play him. If he's hitting, play him.
For sure. The next guy I want to highlight is Oneil Cruz. I know Oneil Cruz has struggled a little bit here too, but we're talking about runners in scoring position. It's something where the Pirates have been kind of fluky with this year. It's gotten better, but Oneil Cruz is certainly, like, he's produced in a big way with runners in scoring position. And he's doing a lot of it. Like, he's in a leadoff spot a lot of times too. Oneil Cruz in with runners in scoring position is batting .310, getting on base .412, slugging .690. He has a 189 weighted runs created plus, 34 plate appearances, 3 home runs. Like, Oneil Cruz is also, like, he's having a fine season, but when it matters, he's another one that's coming up really big in these spots. And I don't think he's getting enough credit for that at this point also.
The team, and we said it all off season too, like, even with the additions, like, the team goes as Oneil Cruz and Brian Reynolds go. Like, those are still 2 super important players to this lineup. And when Oneil Cruz drives in a run, the Pirates are 10-2 this year. So, I mean, it's just like, when Oneil Cruz is helping you win ball games, you win. He's an important player. Yeah, it's impressive to see just the pure, I guess, RBI numbers from the leadoff position. And that's a little bit of a testament to how the lineup has changed overall. Like, there's a lot more depth in this lineup. Like, in order for the leadoff guy to have 24 RBIs in 27 games, it means that the bottom of the lineup needs to be doing something. And, obviously Davis, Griffin haven't had the greatest start to the year, but they're both doing more than what would have. Davis is having a better year this year than he was last year, barely. Griffin is turning things around in the speed on the base. Like, Griffin has, I think, 6 stolen bases too, so I mean, that's putting him in a scoring position when he gets on base.
Yeah,
Jake Mangum is kind of been that bottom of the order for a while, but yeah, I mean, so far so good with Oneil. The one thing, I guess, he hit some homers this road trip, but he also struck out a lot. So he is kind of in one of those little mini slumps right now. And yeah, they need to get him back going again.
For sure.
His strikeout numbers are high right now.
Yeah. I want to ask you though, like, in regards to that, do you see that as an issue? Because, like, all along, like, even when he was producing, like, he was still striking out like 33% of the time. you know, the strikeouts is all have still been up there more than you want to see. Now, the contact has been better. The swing rate's been better. You know, like the underlying metrics and stuff has been better than what they were in the past. And of course, he's producing, but the swing and miss is still pretty relevant. Like, do you think when you talk about sustainability, is there anything that worries you about Oneil Cruz at this point in time?
Yeah. I mean, I guess what worries me is he did this exact same thing last year. Like last year, he was crushing the ball at this point in time, and then he just fell off a cliff. So, yeah, you got to be a little. I mean, until Oneil Cruz can show you that, like, this is sustainable and he can do it over a course of an entire season, which, like, he's put together good seasons, but he hasn't put together like a monster season yet. He's
Right.
put together a monster month here and there, and that's what he just did. So can he continue this throughout the year with a 40.6% whiff rate? Maybe, probably not. That's the issue there is the whiff rate's bad. Now, last year it was 34%. So like the whiff rate is up significantly from last year, which was a disaster season for him. The difference is this year he's hitting the ball in the air. Like that's the difference. He's always hit the ball hard. It's just now he's hitting the ball at an angle that allows him to drive the baseball and get more extra base hits. So he's getting better results when the ball is put in play. But yeah, is he going to continue that? Like, is he going to continue a 98 percentile, barrel percentage? Is the launch angle going to continue to be where it's at? If the launch angle stays where it's at, then he can afford to do this. It's just going to be frustrating as hell. So maybe there's not necessarily a happy medium because you don't want him to not attack the baseball, but he's gotta swing and miss a little bit less. A little, like, he can't do what he's been doing the last week.
Well,
You know,
sure.
he had what, 2 homers? He had 2 homers this week, but he struck out like 15 times.
Right.
So it's
I don't know. I kind of like
Yeah.
what you said there. Like you said, you don't want it, but I feel like the happy medium is kind of what this is. And I guess what I'm alluding to here is, I mean, yeah, like the whiff rate is alarming, and I hope that comes down like a little bit. Like 40% is a lot, but I felt like last year we're talking about with Oneil Cruz. I mean, there was a lot of watching pitches go down the middle of plate, especially watching strike threes go down. Now, I mean, you're not swinging at all at that point in time. You're striking out without even giving you an opportunity. So, like, the whiff rate doesn't even come in. You're just going back to the bench by not swinging. And I felt like we talked about we want to see Oneil get more aggressive. And I think that's what's happening. Like, I think that's the happy medium, like you're mentioning here a little bit. Like, Oneil Cruz is, first off, it's minute, but like the one thing is the lineup protection last year was horrible. We saw that he was getting spammed a lot of just pitches outside the strike zone. So of course there's some pressing there, and of course it's Oneil Cruz, and he's swinging and missing because he's trying to do something until he's not at all. He's finding more pitches in the zone this year, so he's getting a little bit more quality pitches. He's also swinging more this year. He's actually attacking first pitch strikes more this year. So I feel like he's going to swing and miss, but he's going to connect also. And like the thing is, like when he does connect, he makes damage. So like you're saying, like what's nice this year opposed to last year also is like the launch angle. He's attacking the ball. He's driving the ball more than he was before. So of course that leads to better things also, right? A better hit baseball tends to give better results than a weakly hit baseball. That's why we talk about exit velocity and launching. Like that's why this matters, right? But the fact that he is more aggressive, like he is streaky, and that's what you're going to find as streaks. But like the fact that he's being more aggressive this year, he's giving more chances to do damage than not. And I think that's what the happy medium comes into play. Like Oneil Cruz is going to be a guy who strikes out. Now, again, I hope the whiff rate isn't 40%. Like if it's at the 35 that it was last year. And again, we're talking about last year, one of the worst seasons. Him just being more aggressive, I think we're seeing just tends to lead to better results, especially the way he is attacking the baseball right now. And I think that is the happy medium that you're kind of alluding to here. I think that is what it is. Like I'm okay with the happy medium. Like he is going to strike out. If that K rate's 32%. Like, I feel like you live with that. And he's not going to bat over 300 all year and stuff, like we mentioned too. But like, if you're about a 250 hitter striking out 32% of the time, but you're hitting 40 home runs a year, you absolutely live with that. That's the happy medium. So I think that's where we're at with Oneil Cruz. Like, the warts are still there this year, even with the good season. It's just that this is why Oneil Cruz has been talked about so highly, and people drool over him and stuff, because like when he connects, damage happens and good results come from it.
Yeah. I mean, you can whiff, but you've got to be a special hitter, and Cruz is a special hitter. I mean, Aaron Judge whiffs at an outstanding rate as well.
Right.
But when Aaron Judge makes contact, it's at an extremely ideal launch angle, an exit velocity combo, and it's the perfect recipe to do a bunch of damage. And Cruz is so far this year doing that. Like, he is pulling the ball in the air hard. And you continue to do that, and the ball's going to go over the fence more than it has in the past. So yeah, it's definitely a development. I mean, I think he is going to be streaky. The strikeouts are higher than you'd like to see. So I still think they need to go down a little bit. Like, I don't think Oneil Cruz can be rocking a 35% strikeout rate.
Right.
30%, probably just fine. Right. So I'd like to see that go down a bit, but when he makes contact, he's doing the right things this year. Whereas before, we always talked about, oh, well, Oneil Cruz hit that ball 118 miles an hour, hit that ball 117 miles an hour. Well, yeah, but it was right at the second baseman, or was right at the right fielder. Now he's hitting the ball that hard, and he's getting it in the air, and it's going over the fence, off the top of foul poles, hitting them off the wall. Like, he's driving the ball a lot more this year. So yeah, you want to see the whiff rate go down a little bit, though. It is. I mean, he's in the first percentile when it comes to whiff rate,
right?
Which, like, you can get away with, but it's high. It's high right now. Like I said, Aaron Judge last year had one of the best seasons of all time, and I think his whiff rate was second percentile. So like it was way up there too.
Yeah, just to put it there, it was basically what Cruz did last year, 34.6% of the time. Last year, the 2%.
So
but like again,
Aaron Judge made contact at the exact same rate as Oneil Cruz last year. It's just when Judge hit the ball, it went in the air. When Cruz hit the ball, it didn't.
Right. Absolutely. So Cruz having a good year. There's certainly things to worry about, but again, I like we put here, I like the aggressive Cruz again. He isn't as passive. Yes, he's going to swing and miss, but he is making contact when he does in a big way. And again, to go back to it with runners in scoring position, again, he has been also like Mr. Clutch for this team. So again, he has the best weighted runs created plus on the team with runners in scoring position. Does this also maybe, and just real quick, does this also maybe like make you rethink about the leadoff spot, or do you still want Cruz there?
I like him there. I like him at leadoff. It gives him the most at bats. Like I think with Oneil Cruz, you want to give him the most. You want to give him the most opportunities to do damage, and that's out of the leadoff spot. I'm sticking him at leadoff.
Okay, good. Same. Mr. Catalyst for me. I'm still going to double that. He's a catalyst for this team. All right, cool. So that's the runners in scoring position. Outside of that, I mean, I know you wanted to kind of talk about this bullpen a bit as well.
Yeah, we talked about it on the postgame show yesterday. It was a great week for the bullpen in general. But I mean, you look even overall now, and Carmen Majinski's 6-inning outing is thrown in here, but this bullpen that was very much middle of the pack going into this week, it's now all the way up to 4th in the league. And that's the entire pitching staff as a whole. The bullpen is 5th in baseball with a 3.17 earned run average right now. So they had a good week. From a WAR standpoint, they're tied for 5th with a bunch of teams. Yeah, what I like about the bullpen is that those issues that we saw the first 2 weeks with the ridiculous amount of walks, that seems to have stabilized a little bit. They're not putting as many base runners just on base freely, and you're seeing the stuff play a lot more now. Like the surge that Mason Montgomery has had lately is an outstanding development. Mason Montgomery hasn't given up a run the since April 5th. That was 22 days ago. Um, that's 7 straight scoreless outings from him. And in those outings, he's walked 2 batters. So whereas before it seemed like that was his downfall, right? Was giving up those walks. So it's good to see the bullpen kind of getting into a groove. They've been used a lot up to this point.
Mhm.
Um, and you also saw them get a little bit of a rest this past week. The starting pitchers went a little bit deeper into games. You were able to kind of lean on the middle relief guys to get jobs done. Like, it was a good week for Evan Sisk and Justin Lawrence and guys like that. So, you were able to kind of give Santana, Soto, Mattson, Montgomery a little bit of off time, because the games that you won were blowouts, and the games that you lost were kind of blowouts too. So you weren't pitching too many like stressful baseball games this week. There was the extra inning game, but that was it. The rest of the games, they either won or lost by, I think, 4 or more. So yeah, it was a weird week, but I think it was a great week for the bullpen. Um, and they're looking a lot better now than they were 2 weeks ago.
For sure. I think it's very warranted that we highlight the bullpen. And again, like, I think what we're doing here is it's not so much the back end. And I think all of us felt pretty comfortable. Even when the bullpen was struggling, the back end was doing their job. It was the middle. And you highlight Mason Montgomery, which is a very big talent. I mean, when that trade happened, people are talking like, can he be the closer of the future? As far as a lefty, this guy, I mean, just purely dominant stuff. But he walks a ton. And we saw what the ERA was in Tampa. And a lot of people also were like, well, if Tampa can't figure him out, if Tampa's willing to sell, get rid of him and move on, maybe there's some smoke and mirrors and maybe he's not that good. But he's proven that, like, hey, so far, so good. The other hiccups in the beginning part. Also, Justin Lawrence. I mean, people are ready. DFA Justin Lawrence, get rid of him because he has been awful. He was awful. But the past 5.2 innings, five appearances come out, 3 hits, 0 walks. All scoreless. Like, he's been doing his part as well. Kind of the same thing. Like, his stuff was nasty. He was, released, let go from Colorado. They picked him up and he didn't have a whole lot of innings last year because of injury, but the stuff was electric and, you're intrigued by him, wanting to come this year. And it was a really, really rough start to begin with, but he's also normalized, not to say that this is going to remain. Like, it's still, let's see what happens. But yeah, like, so far, this bullpen has really turned things around and make you feel a little more comfortable about those middle innings and such, that maybe, yes, they can still use some help, but maybe it's not as needed as we once thought.
Yeah. I mean, the only reliever who gave up a run this week was Gregory Soto. That was it.
Also
He
having
gave
a
up,
good year.
yeah, he gave up 2 runs. He also won 2 games. So he went 2-0, gave up 2 runs. The rest of the bullpen was great. Yeah, I mean, just up and down. Evan Sisk too, with 4 1/3 scoreless innings this week. You mentioned Justin Lawrence, 3 scoreless. Yeah, it was a good week for the bullpen. And again, overall, that's what she need. That's what she need. And I think the starting pitching going a little bit longer is certainly helpful. You get to use them a little bit less. And yeah, you can it's nice to not have to only rely on 3 guys. Like I said, I'm still not there where I don't trust Justin Lawrence in a 1-run game in the 8th inning. I don't trust Evan Sisk with a 1-run game in the 8th inning. But like, Yohan Ramirez up to this point has been a dude. Like a dude.
Also, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, he's kind of been the one middle relief guy who's just kind of stepped up this whole season. But yeah, overall, no complaints really. I mean, Cam Sanders is up right now. He even pitched a scoreless inning. yesterday. So yeah, we'll see how they do. But the bullpen has been, I said, it was shaky. It was shaky early on, just with the walks. They were letting up way too many base runners, and that has stabilized, which has led to much better results.
Just real quick again with Yohan Ramirez, he makes. I mean, he's been put in like some big situations too. And I feel like that's part of it. But like, I feel like every game he's there, he makes it very interesting. But he comes out of it on the better end more than not. But also, yeah, like 17.2 innings he's pitched this year, and he has a 2.04 ERA. And like his expected ERA is 2.85, the FIP's 3.41. Also, like we talk about smoke and mirrors, it's not so much as just smoke and mirrors. Like he actually is pitching effective. Is because he also is the guy that coming in this year are like, I mean, they must like his stuff because we are talking about our boy Big Bank. Why would you like have Yohan Ramirez here when Moreta was, like coming off of injury and like we've liked Moreta and stuff, and Yohan's kind of shutting us down right now. Is this for real?
I mean, we've always known the stuff is for real. So it's just a matter of like when if he's throwing strikes, the stuff is good. Where he gets into problems is when he's giving up a bunch of base runners and then one hit, ruins an entire outing. But he's certainly been I think he's made 3 errors on throws to first base.
Well,
so like he's kind of been, but he's been thrown into some wild situations. Like he kind of seems to be the default guy where, all right, it's the 10th inning. We used up everybody. It's your turn. And he pitches the 10th and then the 11th and then the 12th. But what's funny is I was just kind of looking this up here. The 3 people, so like win probability added, and this is batters and pitchers. The 3 most valuable Pirates to this point, the people who have contributed the most to increasing their win probability. Number 1 is Isaac Mattson. It's quite surprisingly, but that kind of makes sense. He comes into a lot of sticky situations, and he's done a good job of getting out of them at this point. Number 1, Isaac Mattson. Number 2 is Brandon Lau. Number 3 is Yohan Ramirez. So like Yohan Ramirez has been the third. You could say he's been the third most valuable Pirate to this point, strictly in terms of increasing the Pirates' win probability. Yohan Ramirez, third highest on the team.
And again, like it goes to show, like he has been in some big situations, and that's not someone you're not looking at. He's not Mattson, he's not Soto, he's not Dennis Santana. Like this is the long relief guy. And again, like there's a lot of extra innings early on. That's part of this, but yeah, he was thrown into fire many times, and often he comes out of it and they win. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's also like he's in big pressure moments doing this. I don't know if I trust it either. Like when's the other shoe going to fall? Like when's he going to give up those big hits? When's it going to fall apart for him? But so far, again, 17.2 innings. That's a lot of innings, in this young season. He's held up. He's done a good job. So yeah, like Yohan Ramirez kind of quietly like this team's early MVP. But like I don't think he gets enough love at all. I mean, we talk about relievers, we talk about all those other guys. Like how often do we really talk about Yohan Ramirez? And he's really been the glue to helping this team win.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times where, especially in extra, like there's been a couple extra inning occasions where it's like, I don't know if we win that game without Yohan Ramirez.
Absolutely. Now, throw the ball as well to home plate as you do to first base, and then we're really cooking. Because that has been a real big problem. Okay, but no, definitely good to see that the bullpen is certainly performing much better than it was the first week and a half, I guess you could say. And then outside of that, yeah, these 2 series that are coming up. I know we hinted on them a little bit, but Cards, Reds. Again, the Pirates are 16-12, I think, right now.
16-12. They are 2 games behind the Reds for first place, who are 18-10 right now. Yeah, it's a big week. The Cardinals are 14-13. You look at this 4-game series coming up. Mason Montgomery is actually he's starting today for Wilbur Dotel, who was going to be the follower to his opener. Braxton Ashcraft in line to come off the bereavement list and start on Tuesday. That hasn't been announced yet, but I would imagine that's the plan here. And then Bubba Wednesday, Paul Skeens Thursday. Paul Skeens is going to be starting against Hunter Dobbins, who's going to be making his not his major league debut, but he was traded to St. Louis, I think, over this offseason. So it'll be his first game as a St. Louis Cardinal.
He was traded in the John Lester deal.
There you go. The John Lester deal.
Remember I said John Lester?
So he'll be getting his first start. He hasn't looked great in AAA yet, but he had an okay season last year in Boston. Yeah, you look at this series and you want to win both of these. You want to take 3 out of 4 against St. Louis. You want to take 2 out of 3 against the Reds. And that would be a monster homestand. 5-2 this week would be huge against your division. That would put you this 10-game stretch. That would give you, a 7-3 stretch there. So go out there, win the St. Louis series, win the Cincinnati series, and just keep stacking good series. Like I said, that on the road, you just gotta kind of hold serve on the road like they did. I mean, 3-3, you take that. I was looking last year just because I was curious. Like, if you play 500 ball on the road, like you're gonna make the postseason,
right?
Like the Dodgers last year were 41-40 on the road. Phillies last year 41-40 on the road. Cubs 42-39. Like you just gotta hover around 500 on the road, then take care of business at home, and that's the recipe for 90 wins. That's how you get there.
Absolutely. And again, like they've been passing those tests. So we talk about like what good teams do. They've been doing them so far. And yeah, like one thing I want to talk about, like why we, so far this is a big week for the Pirates because like this division is tough. All 5 teams in the NL Central are above 500. There is only 5 teams in the AL that are above 500. The entirety of the AL and everyone in the division is above 500. They're all playing decently well. They're all performing. So they've taken care of Milwaukee. Milwaukee's dropped. And I know this is like kind of score box watching, and we're watching the standings in April, right? But like this is a moment where they can start making some separation instead of having everyone so jumbled here. Because you mentioned the Reds are up on 2 games. If the Pirates do take 5, this week, like there's a good chance the Pirates are in first place alone. And they've increased ground on some of these other teams, like again, that's why it's kind of important because they have been taking care of business and these are now all in division games. And I think like Ryan said, as Bob Walk likes to joke, these kind of count for 2 games. And that's like we're at right now. Like a win for them equals a loss for the other one. And that makes some real separation here. So that's why, yeah, it's kind of a big week right now in this early test because the Pirates can make some separation here on some teams, and that would make a lot of pressure off this early into the year.
Yeah. So they've done a good job so far. They're 6-3 against the NL Central. If you can go out there and make that 6-3, 11-5,
that's huge.
Huge.
So, right. And that's like the thing too, is like most of these teams in the NL haven't played each other. It's been the Pirates doing it all. So like they're, and also like most of the teams in the NL Central haven't played like above 500 teams and the Pirates have. So it's like the Pirates have been more battle tested in the NL Central so far than most of the other teams in the NL Central, especially have teams playing the Mets.
Well, yeah, if you look at just games against teams over 500, the Pirates essentially, if the other team has any games, it's against the Pirates. And the Pirates have played a bunch of teams who fit that mold. So yeah, the Pirates up to this point have had the toughest schedule in the division.
Mm-hmm.
You can maybe throw the Cubs in there, but I think for the most part, it's probably been the Pirates.
Yep. 16-12, Cubs 17-11, Cincy 18-10. Milwaukee now 14-13. And of course, St. Louis 14-13 as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a good week. I'm excited.
Yeah,
all right,
only one Paul Skeens start this week though, so you're gonna have to win some games where, Paul Skeens, you're gonna have to win the Skeens game for sure, and then go 4-3 in the other, or 4-2 in the other 6.
But once again, like we say, you're confident in every one of those. Like, there's not one pitcher here that you just feel like, oh boy, well, we'll give them this game. Carmen kind of fits that mold, I guess, but Carmen has still also, like, they're 4-2 in the games he pitches. So if that's like your weak link, right, a guy who's won 2/3 of his games, then so be it. Be it. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's all.
There it is. All right. Well, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys tonight. There's a game every day. There's no off days this week. So we'll see you every night for a NS9 post-game show powered by Permane Brothers. With that said, still don't have the details yet, but June 13th is our next tailgate. So be prepared for that. We'll, of course, have tickets for our section like we did this year. That'll be, tailgate food be provided by Permane Brothers as well. Again, all that good stuff. Outside of that, Jim, like, subscribe. We appreciate you
all that good stuff. And make sure you check out Offbeat. New episode of Offbeat just dropped right before this.
Yes, it did. I don't even know what today's was about yet. I gotta listen to it.
It was about Jared Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to be talking about Jared Jones here soon. Yeah. That 30 days be ticking here soon.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, definitely listen to Alex. Good stuff. I love his shows. Way smarter than me. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.